So we are doing the problem number 42, problem 42, page 109, and it is section 2.2. 2.2, yes.
Yeah.
So on this problem number 2, problem 42, you have f of x equal the cubic root of x plus 7 minus 10. So you have two options because they're asking you to not to use your calculator. You can take the longest one, option number one. Option number one, x, f of x. You know it's not a line. If it's not a line, you need to have more than 3 points or 2 points to graph it. You're going to say, okay, when x equals 0, when x equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, obviously you might want to try negative number, negative 1, negative 2, etc., and then calculate f when x equals 0, f when x equals 1, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
Then you plot that. You didn't use your calculator, and you're going to do that. That's very long.
Yeah.
So what you're going to focus is the option number 2. On this option number 2 is you should remember what is, and that's very important because that's part of the thing that you must remember, is what is the graphic representation of cubic root of x. You know that?
The representation?
Yes. If you want to graph that, you need to know what does it look like when you graph that. So, if I decide to do this, I'll go right there. Oh, it did not recognize my handwriting. Shoot. So, I'm going to try to be a little bit more equal the cubic root of x. Hopefully it will recognize that. Come on. Okay, well, fix it. Okay, well, it doesn't recognize. Sometimes it doesn't work for some reason. Okay, I'm going to turn that off. Okay. Well, so you should know that it's going to be something like that. Okay, so if I graph that, this is supposed to be f of x, the representation of f of x. Okay, if I do my chart, I'm going to end up to have something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have that. You don't have cubic root of that.
Mm-hmm.
You have f of x equal the cubic root of x plus 7 minus 10. So you must see that basically as f of x equal another function of x minus 10. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
With this g of x being equal to cubic root of x plus 7. You see this?
Wait.
You see
So
that?
then what happened to the 10?
Right now I'm just focusing on the fact that cubic root of x plus 7
Oh, okay.
can be considered as a function of x on its own,
Mm-hmm.
and it is going to be cubic root, I'm going to call it g of x equal cubic root of x plus 7.
Okay.
All right. Now, you must remember something very important, because when you are, and let's go back to the lecture, when you are doing f of x equal x, you know this is going to be a line going through the point 0, 0, and that is f of x equal x. Okay? Y-axis, x-axis. Now let's imagine that you want to graph f of x, I'm going to graph g of x equal x plus 2. If I graph g of x equal x plus 2, when x equals 0, f of 0 equals 0. But when x equals 0, g of 0 equals 2.
Oh, yeah.
So if I have x, and then on the chart, I'm going to have f of x right here, and then I'm going to have g of x right there. When x equals 0, f of 0 equals 0, f of 0 equals 0, f of x equals x. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, g of x equals 2. So what was 0 for f of x is now equal 2. Make sense? Mm-hmm. If I do that for every value of x that I want to take, 1, negative 1, mm-hmm. I'm going to end up to realize that g of x is right here.
Okay.
Okay? What do I see? I see that g of x, it's equal to f of x. G of x equal x plus 2, x equal f of x plus 2. You see that?
Kind of.
G of x equal x plus 2. But I said f of x equal x. Mm-hmm. So I can substitute x by f of x.
Okay, yeah.
And what does that look like? It does look like something that you must remember from your lecture. It says that when f of x or g of x, whatever you want to name your function, equal another function plus or minus k, mm-hmm. you got a vertical shift. Okay? Mm-hmm. You got a vertical shift. And if it is plus, it's a vertical shift up. If it is minus, it's a vertical shift down. Mm-hmm. Okay with that?
Yeah.
And now, you should also remember, once you get back to that knowledge, that should remind you that if you have g of x equal f of x plus or minus k, now this time you got an horizontal shift. An horizontal shift. I will let you look at your lecture to tell me when it's plus, it is going to the right or to the left, it is going to the left. When it's negative, it is going to the right. Mm-hmm. Okay? So when you are seeing, let's go back to this right here. Right away, do you think you have right here a vertical shift or an horizontal shift? For this function right here.
Okay. Is it vertical?
Vertical? Okay, let's imagine it's vertical. Let's go back to the definition. When I look at my definition right here, I must realize that g of x equal f of x plus or minus k. You see why I move my minus k? I can literally take my minus k or plus k and put it on the very far side of my line. Do you think I can do exactly the same thing with this?
No.
Because plus or minus k is in between parentheses. Mm-hmm. So now I go back to that. When you have the cubic root, the cube root define parentheses. Can you move the 7 far away?
No.
Is it an horizontal or vertical?
Horizontal.
And now you are able to recognize what is an horizontal.
Yeah.
It's a plus to the right or to the left?
To the left.
To the left. So right now, if you have to graph that, you are going to end up, so if you want to graph g of x equal the cubic root of x plus 7, from the expression right here, cubic root of x plus 7, let's use another color. If I do now g of x equal the cubic root of x plus 7, I know I'm going to have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right? Maybe a little bit up, but we don't care about it. Sorry for that.
You're okay.
All right. Very good. You with me?
Yeah.
Now, I don't have that. What I have is g of x equal the cubic root of x. the cubic root of x plus 7 minus 10. So what does that mean for this green function right here? What does that mean for this green function g of x equal cubic root of x plus 7?
That it'll stretch
And not stretch. It's going to shift
down.
down, exactly. Because you can literally take this and put it right here. Okay?
Yeah.
So that means this green, when the green is you have negative, you subtract negative 10 to the green function, that means your green function is going down to negative 10 and it's going to be right there. Oops. Make sense?
Yeah.
You with me?
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
So more you're going to gain in experience, more you will be able to say, okay, oh, that is right there. This part of the function, if I consider it by itself, this is a vertical shift. Oh, this one is an horizontal shift. You do the horizontal shift first, and then you say, oh, now I need to subtract or add the number, the plus or minus k. So now that means this part is going to move up or down. Were you able to graph very quickly your expression? Yes, because everything starts from, what is it? Cubic root. So there is some essential graph, cubic root of x, square root of x, x, 1 over x, x squared, x cubed, that you should have right away the idea of what it looks like in order for you to very quickly to have the shape of your function. If you don't know that, you're stuck. Okay?
Yeah.